Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 and welcome from beautiful New York. We're here at the Glen. It's Watkins Glen, and it is the season finale of the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by SRP. I am Austin. I'm joined by Tim Cox, and we have Samuli Kimo in the production booth. You're here live watching Apex Racing TV, and it is time to end out the season with a bang. Here at one of the greatest racetracks in the world, it's Watkins Glen, baby. Tim, how are you feeling? And are you ready to have some fun in the hills of New York?
Austin, you can never be ready for the Glen. And we are up to 57 cars in this field. 57. That is crazy. It's going to be epic. I love the Glen. It is brilliant for racing, and we're on the best layout. No bus stop chicane involved. It's full chat all the way down to the carousel. But I'm sad, Austin. I'm sad.
Why are you sad? Why are you sad?
Because this is the last time that you'll be commentating here at Apex Racing TV, and the last time I'll be, well, hopefully, you know, never say never, but last time potentially working with you. And it's been, I've got to say, from the whole of the community and all of us here at RTV, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a blast. Thank you for all your great moments and the crazy times, the bad times, the good times, and, well, you've been through it all, through the rise, through lockdown, into, well, what we see as iRacing now today, and, well, commentating on so many great series. And it'll be sad to see you go. You'll be missed. You'll leave a big hole in our hearts. But why not go out with a bang with iGPFun at Watkins Glen?
Absolutely, and I wouldn't want it to end any other way. Maybe a Circuit of the Americas, but I'm biased. As
okay,
but
Texas
yeah,
again. Can't get away from it. You in Texas.
Hey, I'm Texas. I'm Texan through and through. You can't get me away from here. Though I was almost actually, the reason why I'm heading out is actually around Circuit of the Americas. So, it was around Circuit of the Americas, but now it's actually around back here in San Antonio, where I'm from. But that is a different story. But yeah, I've had such a wonderful time from hopping over here from F1 eSports back in 2019. I remember when all the lockdown happened and Marco and I were doing 5 broadcasts a week. No, 5 broadcasts, I think, in 3 days.
Yes,
it was crazy. I got to do so many cool things, a lot of real series, the Formula Regional Americas, who then had me out at Circuit the Americas in their real life race later that year. And I got to go around in the pace car with my old driving coach. It was so much fun. So many opportunities came from it, and so many friends I met along the way. And I'm gonna miss y'all. It's probably not the last time you're gonna see me on Apex Racing TV, but it's probably the last time you'll hear me on Apex Racing TV. It's a little teaser for you.
Such a tease, you're such a tease. But, well, I mean, look, it's kicking things off already, isn't it? 700ths of a second. The difference between pole and second place. It's always close in this series. And we have got, let's just take a little bit of a look here. Half a second takes you from pole all the way down to, what, 15th place. Victor Barish, the Spaniard. He's just over half a temp, so technically 14th with Liam Ridgway. So Robert Ridgway even. As close as ever. Then, well, if you want a second difference, well, you look, can't even fit it on the timing tower. That says everything. You're talking down to 35th.
Yeah, you had to go down to 35 spots to get down to a second, and that is Reed Dennis, fellow Texan, down there in 34th. But yeah, here at the Glen, it's all about who you're driving with, that draft, and how much you're going to send that car into these corners, because these cars, and they love to go fast, but they love to have grip. And if you maximize that top speed, these cars do not have grip. And you can see Reed Dennis really fighting with that car, flinging it through the boot right there, sideways, getting a little bit sideways at times, and really finding the limits of that car. And here at Watkins Glen, it's all about finding these limits and also picking and choosing your fights. Now, iGPFun rules dictate that turn 1, no active overtaking will be had, but after turn 1, have fun.
Puts the fun into iGPFun, doesn't it?
Yes,
and I think it's gonna be. Well, there's going to be a lot of jostling for position. I think it's going to be almost NASCAR-esque. 2 lines up through the S, out of turn 1, up through the S's, all the way to the carousel, possibly even through the carousel, and then getting into the boot. That's, I think, where they're going to start to sort themselves out, maybe. I think at the front they will, but behind them, I think it's still going to be 2 long lines. And, well, with such a large grid, there's not going to be room to really tuck in behind one another. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Qualifying just coming towards an end, and I've got all the usual protagonists up there. I'll tell you what, Walt McIntyre and Joe's only good enough for 11th. That's a bit of a strange one. Normally expect to see him a bit further up through the list, but they're all there. Bartolotta, Aberdeen, Coffrey, Zramstra, Atunes, all the big names. They've all come out for the Week 13 special.
Everybody you know throughout the iGPFun series is in this race right now. I see maybe 1 to 2 names that I haven't seen throughout the season here today, but other than that, everybody here is a name they want. They know what today is. It's the very last race of iGPFun, and it's going to be a lot of fun before the new season comes ahead, with all the new tracks coming in the future, all the new features coming to iRacing in the future. I'm pretty sure a lot of these drivers are going to have a lot of fun with that, as we are looking at Adam Talbot currently in qualifying, currently just finishing up qualifying right now. Next season, though, before we have to wait 2 weeks for the next official start of iGPFun. Next week, though, the iGPFun Race for Vamala charity event will be at Daytona Road. It's the only time the Formula 3 cars will be running at Daytona on the road course. So if you want to get involved in the Race for Vamala charity, look into the iRacing forums in the Dallara Formula 3 F3 forums for all the information, donation links, and sign up instructions posted by Luca Verani. But all ado, we'll talk about that later on in today's race. It's Max Bartolotta starting off the race on pole ahead of Lee Aberdeen, Michael M. Coffrey, Kevin Swemstra, Daniel Antuez, Oldest Pudukelis, Evan Way, Theodore Bergeson, Julio Policio, Giuseppe Didon, Will McIntyre Jones, and Manuel Animal Vargas Tony Jimenez, Robert Ridgway, Victor Barris, Christian Glamsetter, Alistair Hay, Alvaro Marino, Nicholas Westman, Andy Flint, Marquez Otzlovs, Clark Woods, and Kuji Aito. They're followed by Lucas Maruka, 24th. Benjamin Gilchrist, Pedro Soares, Stephen Ritters, Adam Talsma, Marquez Punicas, Marcelo Kessler, Nazet Herrera, and Nick Carty, Edward Alma, Zoltan Zomarter, Reed Dennis, and Gaten Eimhoff in 36. They're behind him. It's Stu Millen, Joel Mollers, Chuck Morrow, Vyshestiev, Potapenko, Richard Van Veen, Garrett Spence, Arturo Mayorga, Juan Hernandez, James Carter, Paulo Lobreme, Reno Scattini, Matt Brewer in 48th. They're followed by Rob Doyle, Matthew Gracie, Ben Goyette, Daryl Governor, Ed Daugherty, Maximilian Gebhardt, Dorian Arroyo, Kaj Hansen, Jacob Wilson, and Giz Zanni at the back of our 58 car grid.
Never gets old hearing numbers like that. 58.
58!
No messing here in IGP Fun. It's all or nothing. Max grids all the way. Interesting to say about Daytona. Oh no, I'll cover that later. Here come the lights.
5 red lights, all 58 of them ready to rock and roll. It's time to send the season off with a bang here at the Glen. iGPFun Formula 3 Series is off and rolling here as they fly through turn 1. Max Bartolota getting an amazing start ahead of Lee Aberdeen. Aberdeen in that draft right now. They're followed by Conference Swenstra and Antoes Puticas, Way and Berkson Policio, and Will McIntyre Jones already jumping up 1 spot with Giuseppe Didon falling down 2 spots in 12th place.
But not quite the 2 lines that I was first thinking, Austin. Well, hold on a minute. They're sorting themselves out here.
There's the line. There's the line. It's the opening line is not right there, but everybody else in that draft right now. Now they're going side by side, heading through the carousel for one time only. Max Bartolota on that inside line and leading out that group as Lee Aberdeen trying to follow by. He's got a little help for his team out with Michael M. Coffrey down to the inside right there as the 2 teammates of the Alcatech NHR by Neiman Racing, Kevin Swebster and Lee Aberdeen helping each other out right now as everybody's entering the boot as they're 2 by 2 and 1 car is out wide and into the wall.
That's Nicholas Vestman, Austin. He's off and he's jumped to the pits. He must have damage. That's his run. He's done and dusted. Well, it only lasted, what, 4 corners?
Yeah, 4 corners lasted indeed. And we got a stubbed toe in the boot. Somebody has stubbed their toe and, well, there is the parking lot that we were unfortunately not looking forward to. Kaj Hansen, Nick Carty, Marquez Punicas, and Nicholas Westman. The 4 cars all towed into the pit lane, but I believe we're going to be seeing a few more cars in there. Yo Mollers and Chuck Morrow involved in there as well.
Well, it's just settling down a little bit here, Austin. Lap 2, we're off and away, and, well, just looking through the list, Ed Doherty, hats off to you, sir. 21 places in 1 lap.
Okay, what the heck did you do?
Oh, no, that's 20. He's just lost 1. But we'll forgive you for that one, though, Ed. We'll forgive you for that one. But he's in the slipstream. This is where you want to be, Austin. Heading up through the S's, locked in, locked on, maximum attack, picking up that slipstream, tipping out. Has he got a bit too early, though? I think he might have. Look, he's just getting way down, whereas the motor in front of him is tucked up in the slipstream of Milne.
Now, there's no help on that bottom line for Ed to make that move off of the start of Ed Daugherty. Off the line, it might be in a little bit of ingestion as there is chaos up ahead. Cars in the wall.
Oh, there's a big shunt there. Flint, I think, for Christian Glamsetter, tied up in that.
It's Animal.
Oh, no, more casualties. We thought it might happen here, Austin. Big grid, big competitive cars and drivers. Oh, wow. Was always going to be a few casualties, and now we're out of starting at 58, we're down to 46. Well, maybe a few less, as that's Herrera caught up in that one. He's stationary. That's it. Get yourself, just sit off you go, have another go. There's still plenty of time left in this race. A lot can happen and will happen.
Yeah, shake it off. Look at F3. Check your relative and get back on track. Make sure everything is working. If not, head into the pits, get that fixed, and enjoy the rest of your day here. But everybody all within a line from first all the way down to 40th, I would say. And that goes from turns 3 all the way through the start-finish line. As you can see on our dancing dots of doom in the minimap in our top right. All these drivers either saying, I'm going on the outside, I'm going on the inside, I'm going to go 3 wide, as we see the 25 of Michael Coffrey saying he wants to make it 3 wide right there, but backing it out of it as he's stuck behind the 2 Alcatech NHR by Neiman Racing cars up ahead of him. So they go side by side, entering the pit. Oh my goodness, almost teammate collision right there. But Coffrey up onto the gearbox right there, almost pushing the 46 of Kevin Swebstro through that corner.
Well, all this battling, Austin, it's allowing Max Bartolotta and Tunes to get away. They're 1.7 seconds clear of this gaggle, that the chasing peloton. They're all wrapping and fighting away. Another seeing full Theodore Bergson around there. Oh, is he going to get collected?
Oh, that's a tight spot. He's got to go on to the inside. Hope everybody stays on the outside. And don't Austin Powers this right now. Just got to deal with it. Get into that grass, maybe help that car rotate around and then go on straightaway. And that is a beautifully done spot. It's so easy to get it caught over right there. You're kind of in a ravine, so everybody knows where you are and is already going around you due to the racing line around there. But it's just so easy to just have one driver take it tight after just going for a switchback move. And then you have another big incident. But that is a big, unfortunate moment for Theodore Bergeson right now.
Indeed, Austin. Was indeed. See, Juan Antonio Hernandez right now under attack from Theodore Bergson, but he needs to be careful because Banveen's on this heel, and then we've got Arturo Morega as well looking into the fight here, and Hernandez looking a bit vulnerable. He can't pick up the slipstream. I think he's a bit too... Actually, no, it'll be okay, but they're going to go 2 lines. I think he's going to get held out on that inside line, though, and yeah, he's not tucking in, so he's not got anyone as we go 3 wide.
Yeehaw, baby. Richard Van Veen. Oh, he wanted to go 3 wide, and he thought about it, and then he decided, maybe not so.
I mean, that's where Hernandez lost it. He pulled out, but then had nobody slipstream off. Bergson stayed on the racing line. As much as you've got Hernandez trying to defend it, he got no one to pull him along. So Bergson slipstream from the car ahead and said, thank you very much, and made the move all the more easier.
Yeah, using the slipstream for the car ahead is always the key to making those moves, because in these Formula 3 cars, they have very little drag already. So you get out of the car, the draft of the car ahead, you're going to be gaining speed for roughly about 1/10 of a second. The next thing you know, it's like you're being slapped in the face by just a wall bear.
Smart to put Nix there, just offline.
He might have gone a little bit slow, and he's a lap down, actually.
There we go. I think something happened to Bergeson. The semi-driver's trying to work through here. Oh no, he's okay. No, he's okay. He's okay. I thought he dropped down through the order, but where he's got such a big cut grid, and well, Aberdeen's got past Senstra for third. That battle, what was now about a 4-way battle for third.
Oh, 3 wide around the carousel, around the outside. This is 25 of Michael M. Coffrey, but Lee Aberdeen keeps that lead right there. But Coffrey right on that gearbox right now, diving down to the inside, but is defended right now well by Lee Aberdeen. And behind him into the wall, it's Julio Policio.
That's him, Gartland. Another one bites the dust, Austin. It's becoming a bit of the battle of the Glen, or even the war of the Glen out there. It's a real war of attrition. It's all about keeping out on track, but Ed Dogsy now on 29 places.
Oh, and into the wall is Gilchrist.
Damn.
Big hit into the wall. And he just got it in the grass, and it's so easy to put a little bit too much mustard at that toe. And into the wall you will go.
Trying to apply all that mustard to get it down. The effort to catch up with the car in front of him.
Oh, and another incident in the background. And that's at the tightest part of the track. And it is a wall. And we got a parking lot. That's Potopenko getting entangled right there with Gaten Imhoff right now. Imhoff, watch out. And dodging his way through there. That's the 43 of Maximilian Gebhardt, dodging from one side of the track to the other. and just sneaking his way through there.
Oh, Austin. Oh, Austin, we knew it would be spectacular. Here we go. Let's have another 3 wide. And this one's actually going to make it to a 3 wide.
Yeah, Coffrey is in the middle of 3 wide right there, but he's backed out of it, heading into the carousel. There is a bump throughout that bus stop section right there. And in the middle of the track, it kind of actually, you will bottom out and you might get a little bit of floor damage from there. And I think that's what's happening right now. Alvaro Monero is pointed backwards.
I think Hay was involved in that too. Yes, there you go. He's into the pits, lost in. And there's, he's trying
that's
to
Alvaro. Now he's got the grass right there, and the best thing to do is to tow it into the pit lane. Back to our fight for 3rd place. These guys are racing like it's a fight for the lead. No, it's a fight for 3rd place in 2 Alcatech cars versus the Wave Italy Racing Team car of Michael and Coffrey. And they got Pudicles right behind them in that 4-car train right now. And Michael and Coffrey has been making this 3 wide threat at the back of each bus stop run. Are we going to be seeing him try to go 3 wide again, or will he just stay in line with the cars ahead of him?
Time's on their side, Austin. Lap 7 out of 28. Of course, iGPFun runs for a longer race distance than the F3 officials on iRacing, so you have a little bit more time to pick and choose your moves and your battles. Well, you try telling this lot that. They have been going at it hammer and tong. Coffrey with the run. Where's he going to go? He's being blocked
He's
in.
He's in on the inside. Here we go. 3 wide. He got a car on the outside and a car on the right. And here we are stuck in the middle with you, Michael M. Coffrey. Once again, gets onto the brakes, chooses that outside line, using that banking of the carousel to his advantage, trying to get the speed to pass Lee Aberdeen, but there he goes all the way to the right. We're 3 wide, entering the boot, and around the outside, Coffrey and Aberdeen are side by side. Coffrey has still got his nose onto the inside, racing down into the toe. He has to back out of it. Lee Aberdeen covers him off, heading into the toe right now. And it's Spencer, Aberdeen, Coffrey, and Pudicles, your 4 cars in this fight for 3rd place.
Coffrey just can't make it stick, Austin. He's trying left, he's trying right, he's trying through the middle, but he just can't find a way through. He's going to have to pick and choose this. He's going to have to pick. I mean, Zwebstra being ahead, it looks like he's opening up a little bit of depth. He needs to attack Aberdeen here, Austin, and just pick him off one by one, get his way past, and then go after Zwebstra. Taking on the pair of them, he's always going to lose out. It's 2 against 1. So come around to complete another lap. Head out to lap 8. Here we go. I think we're going to see another 3 wide. I can feel it in my waters coming into the carousel.
I'm going to go out on a limb. If I was Michael and Coffrey, I would not make it go 3 wide. I would stay in the draft of the car right in front of you and maybe try the accursed Formula 3 bump draft.
It's bold, but I think it's going to take something bold here, Austin, to be able to do that as well. I think they're going to be a bit too far back, though, from one another. Meanwhile, Physicalis, he's just sat in the background, just chilling.
He's watching
this happen. Yeah, well, it's the best seat in the house, Austin. So they're watching these 3 going at it.
Not as good as ours. Not as good as ours.
No, of course not.
Got a upholstery. I think they gave us drinks at a time.
And we have Samuli.
Yeah, Samuli's the best. Very talkative.
Definitely. Meanwhile, I'm surprised that Tunis hasn't really got into Barcelona. Those 2 have been around 2, like Sept and Flow between 1/10 and 3/10 constantly all race long, but Barcelona really controlling this one is the Italian now in front. Here's all the captains. Well, a bit of traffic here. It's a bit of traffic lost in. That could play a little part of the story.
A bit of traffic is just Benjamin Gilchrist up ahead of him. Max Bartolotto and Daniel Antunes are, well, bumper to bumper right now. Bumper to nose to gearbox. Close. They're very close to it. They're racing with each other. They're drafting each other. Words.
You see it? Antunes just taking a bit of a wider line there, trying to carry the speed up the hill. But
getting a good run.
Well, Bartolotto, we know his name. Ooh, he backed out of it a little bit there, Austin.
Well,
He's gonna
he's
have another
getting
bite of
that
the
better
cherry, though.
spot, and oh my gosh, they are doing it. They're bump drafted Formula 3 cars.
Oh, this is why we love iGP.
Oh, and something has happened behind him. Swemster, Coffrey, and into the wall is Coffrey.
It's a big one, Austin. It was brewing for so many laps. And how? Oh, I was going to say, has he got no damage? How's he keeping that car going? But no, he's peeled off. That is Coffrey down and out. Another one bites. That's what was a four-way fight for third place. Is now just a meager three-way fight.
I think this might become a two-way fight between these two. Pudikas is falling away. The move down to the inside by Kevin Zwemstroud. Coffrey taking it 3 wide. He had the speed at all. Well,
Just turned in a bit too much.
Well, the car on the outside, Lee Aberdeen, was not there. Kevin Zwemstroud stayed on that inside line, and that looked like a big scoop of netcode.
Not good for the Chilean there. Not good at all. Meanwhile, that in front, Austin still at it, but they still remain as they are. I think potentially they're just looking to build this gap and then go at it in the final stages. We're not even a half race distant yet, lap 10 out of 28, but there's been so much happen, so many stories to tell. It's hard to know where to look at times. We still amazingly have, what, some 42 cars running, I believe?
Yes, 33
42.
cars that are still running that have not gone into the pit lane. If your favorite driver is not where you think they should be, these are the cars that have gone into the pit lane. Chuck Morrow, Reed Dennis, Joel Maulers, Victor Barris, Christian Glamsetter, Andy Flip, Benjamin Gilchrist, Bodo Penko, Punikas, Coffrey, Bergeson, Vargas, Didon, Hay, Monero, Imhoff, Policio, Hansen, and Herrera, as well as Nick Carty. Everybody else has actually not taken the start of this race.
Battle ensuing there. They save for 7th place. Ridgeway.
Oh, McIntyre Jones round the outside of Robert Ridgeway, and look out onto the inside. Here comes Antonio Tellez. Well, Tellez, he really wanted to go down there. Jimenez wanted to make that move, and Ridgeway goes around the outside. Jimenez now down to the inside, and Zago side by side behind Will McIntyre Jones. Jimenez getting back onto that gearbox of Robert Ridgeway ahead of him. Ridgeway chasing down McIntyre Jones through the tongue of the shoe, or the shoehorn of the boots. One of the most tricky corners in all of racing, especially around here. It's very low grip, it's off camber, it's through a rise, and if you are unexperienced, you'll be finding the back end of your car really going for a ride. And it's also, if you go for a ride right there, you lead into the tightest part of the track where there is nothing to go. It's the tunnel turn, and it's just walls on either side.
Suarez is catching these guys. All their battling and infighting between them. It's allowing the Portuguese driver just bit by bit. He's nibbling into the time numbers. All Simpson and Aberdeen, they've swapped around again. That battle for third is still playing out. He's done it well in advance of the braking zone. And
they're two teammates. I'm expecting them to do this throughout the day. This is Ridgeway round the outside of the carousel, and he's made that move work on McIntyre Jones.
Well, Jimenez looking to just sneak through with Ridgeway here. Can't quite get it done though. McIntyre Jones is
inside line.
Well, he's got it covered. He's got it covered. There you go. No messing.
Oh, and look at that switchback move by Tony Jimenez, getting back onto the inside of McIntyre Jones after McIntyre Jones on the inside line, but he's backed out of it.
Don't forget enough speed, overspeed coming up the hill, Austin. Just get alongside enough to make a meaningful overtake on the inside. McIntyre Jones had to back out of it. That's where he still remains ninth. But look, Suarez, he's taking more and more time up on them, and in the slipstream range now. In the next 2 laps, he will be into this fight all over 7th place. Here we go. Building up the speed. Who's got the momentum here, Austin? We need to ask. And tell you what, Suarez, he's clinging on for dear life, bouncing across the curbs there on the exit out of turn 1, the 90. But up the hill we go. Jimenez looks left, looks right. He's juking and moving around like a boxer, weaving, trying to duck the punches, but he pulls out to the right. He's not got anyone to help
No
him.
help out there.
But McIntyre Jones, look at him go.
McIntyre Jones on that middle line, sends it into the carousel and retakes that bottom line and retakes the lead of this 3-car formation right now. And look behind them. Pedro Soares is closing them down. That Hydra race car is looking dangerous to make this a 4-car fight for 7th.
Here's Austin. It's down to 4 attempts at the start of the lap. It was about 7 attempts of a second was the gap. So he's taken 2 attempts out of him. So he's going for the Portuguese driver, but he's struggling in certain parts of the circuit. Look, he's just lost another attempt. So it is ebbing and flowing. But I think if you can just get that a little bit closer, that's when he's going to become dangerous. And well, could actually catch these guys napping, but they're so engrossed with fighting against one another, Ridgway, Jimenez and McIntyre Jones, that in fact, Suarez could potentially just take a place off them, but they're just not expecting to see him there.
Yeah, not expecting to see them there is exactly what they're going to do. And if they continue to fight, well, they're going to notice that he is right there. Pedro Soares, the Portuguese driver, number 45. From Hydro Racing Forces, is in a prime spot to make some good moves right here, as all of these drivers are using the draft to their advantage. And it's not going to be the last time we're going to be seeing drivers use draft to their advantage, as next week in that race for Vamala, we're going to be at Daytona Road, the one of the few banned road courses for these Dallara Formula 3 cars in official iRacing sessions.
The issue is, Austin, if you start from the front row, I think it's second place, you're on the banking, and you just can't get the car started. The rear end, no matter what way you start it, just slips down the banking, and you end up losing a ton of places. You're better off starting from the second, or if possibly the 3rd row of the grid. That's where the power positions are.
I don't know if it's a rolling start or a standing start.
It's got to be a standing start. It'd be criminal otherwise. For the purity, Austin, the purity.
Well, knowing iGPFun, they pride themselves on being, well, fun and clean. And a standing start round there has never been clean in my experiences on iRacing, which I have a lot of experience doing standing starts on the Daytona Oval. In Mazdas.
Also, hopefully they're running it in the dark. F3 under floodlights. It's really, really good to see. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Though I would prefer Homestead Miami. Roval.
Hasn't got full track lighting there. That's the issue.
Yes, it does. It does.
That's it.
Yeah, it does.
So I think it gets a bit dark on certain patches of the infield. I think, from memory, because I'm sure I tried them all.
As Bear Grylls says, improvise, adapt, overcome. It looks nice.
Stroke, eat plenty of carrots so you can see in the dark.
Well, that is a tight line by Otlas and Marcelo Kessler, getting pitched to the wall. And right behind them, they're having a little bit of fun right now. Stu Millen in that bottom line as they're chasing now Marcelo Kessler, the 228 Kepler. And is behind the 93 of Otlas, and now he's down to the inside after overtaking the lovely number 69 of Edward Amos. And there's Kepler down low, the 93 of Otlas out high. Now Otlas is down low. Otlas sending it. They're side by side entering the boot.
I'd say it's fascinating. The way this just ebbs, it flows. It's constantly evolving. People just changing and swapping positions left, right, and centre. It's almost like a bit of a game of chess here, Austin, where you need to position your opponent, get them where you want to get the move done, and make some progress. If you fall off the line, like Edward J. Amos just did, you end up losing not just one place, but potentially 2, 3, 4, or even more places. And to keep you up with that, who's right behind him? Well, I said Dirty, and he's only up 33 places. Just 33.
Yeah, Ozlov's chasing now Kessler. Kessler sitting in 16th place. He's got a party behind his rear view mirror, behind his rear wing of Otlas, Millen, and Amos in that 4-car battle for 16th as they race down heading into turn 1. using all the track off the exit. Maybe a little bit too much of the track off the exit. I see you back there, almost.
So sure, North Aberdeen. Guess what? They've swapped
Actually,
around
that was
again.
Doherty, not almost.
Well, it's McIntyre, Jones, Suarez. What's he going to predict
Whoa.
Suarez?
Suarez getting out a little bit wide. I think he got caught off by a dirty air by Jimenez up ahead of him. But he managed to make that move on Will McIntyre Jones, jumping up into 9th place. McIntyre Jones looking for a spot around the outside, but has to back out of it and find that next spot opportunity. But he is not letting any opportunity go right there. He is locked on that gearbox like he is locked on a target right now for 9th place.
Well, it could go anyway between any of them realistically. Ridgway, Jimenez, Suarez, McIntyre, Jones, Williams now being brought into this fight. Maruk, he's not far behind either. He's just dipped it inside a second, so give it a little bit of time, Austin. He'll be there. He'll be there. Lap 16 out of 28. So over half race distance now. Need to just start thinking about their moves there, drivers, plotting their next attack. So they don't want to be losing places and going into the second half. They only want to be gaining them. I know that's the overall mission anyway, but in the early stages you can afford to drop a place or two, especially a track like this. You know that you can come back at your opponents. And certainly by running it wide like that, Clark Williams not going to help your calls, because if you fall off the draft in this track, it's a lot to try and get back up onto it.
Yeah, you fall out of the draft on this track. It's pretty much you fall into the river, you don't have a paddle, and it go down.
You're not wrong there. You're not wrong there at all. Some worse than being up the creek without a paddle.
Nah, that'll go down. You might say it don't go down. You start humming some song, but no, it go down.
So Ridgway's managed to pull away from this group. He's got a second clear on Jimenez, so he's out of draft range. So this is the fight for 15. Kessler, Talsma, Ortolovs, Amos and Milne all involved in this one. 5-way battle.
Millen and Amos. Amos is doing a very unique line. He's actually looking like he's backing out of it. He doesn't want to be in the middle of this fight. And entering the boot, he pulled off to the right, and Millen is looking down the inside. I feel like we might be seeing these two swap spots very soon.
Talking of swapping spots, Putikillis in way, they were trading places, but they've stayed where they are for the Latvian and the Canadian, that battle for 5th place. Also right out in front as well, and Tunis has remained still that consistent gap behind Max Bartolotta in that battle for the lead. But that's going to come down to a last lap job, as they're still, well, I'm guessing they're still bunt drafting based on those gaps that I'm seeing right now in the time town, top left of your screen viewers, because, well, it goes down to, oh no, that's Rob Doyle.
Doyle in the wall.
Ooh,
That's that shoestring. As I believe one of our fellow commentators likes to call it shoestring. I believe that was Jonathan Grabowski who's coined the term shoestring.
That sounds like a Jonathan Grabowski phrase. It sounds like it is. This group's starting to get broken up a little bit. I mean, Jimenez, making a bit of progress, but Suarez, he's the main one. In doing so, Suarez has fallen off the back of Jimenez. And well, fighting between Suarez and McIntyre and Jones has cost them dearly. 1.5 seconds behind Ridgway and Jimenez, who are battling over 7th. However, sometimes close up those gaps, Austin. They need to work together if they want to try and close up to the back of the American and the Spaniard in front of them, and then pick them off and wait their way past. Can they do it? Well, 10 laps is possible around Watkins. You never quite know what might happen.
You never know what could happen indeed. And, oh, there is that moment right there. McIntyre Jones clipping the wall off the exit.
No, if he's got damage, Austin, from there, might have got away with it.
Yeah, he got away with it, it looks like. He does have a little bit of help. Pedro Suarez in that draft ahead of him. Fastest lap of the race, last lap, whizzed by Lee Aberdeen at 1:37.14. And where is that help? It's his teammate right behind him, Kevin Zwemstra. And the two Alcatel cars are trying to chase down our leaders, who are 4.5 seconds ahead of them. And I have a feeling that they're just focusing on fighting each other. We're looking at Oldest Putekelis and Evan Way. Evan Way, one of his top spots right now, sitting 6th place in that beautiful blue MRP Modern Racing Prince GP machine. The Canadian Evan Way sitting in 6th place. And I believe this is his highest place to date in the iGPFun Formula 3 series.
It's certainly the highest I've seen now. You've been far more of a regular than myself, Austin, so yeah, I think you know, still time, man, for these two to swap around though. Still plenty of time left on that clock. I'm still baffled when Atunes is going to make his pass on Bartolotta, when he's going to stop bump drafting him. That's the one that's really puzzling me right now, Austin.
Yeah, I know exactly when he's going to do it.
Last lap.
2 words. One's white, the other one's flag. Put them together, last lap. So, yes.
Oh, you can hear just how low Way is running his car. You can hear it bottoming out as he came through the S's and again across the top of them.
And not getting into the draft. He's not using Oldest's draft to get closer to him, because if he gets closer to him, he's going to be closing up to the car ahead of him and wanting to go for a move. He just wants to play it safe, because if you look behind him and doesn't want to fight, they're 2 seconds clear of Robert Ridgway behind him.
Ridgway's 2.5 seconds behind them. Can he catch them? It's possible, but I'm not sure he's quite gaining. I'm not sure he's gaining quite enough time. As Ridgway getting very loose and squirrely. No, sorry, it wasn't Ridgway. Yes, it was. Jimenez passed Ridgway.
Tony Jimenez making that move on Robert Ridgway, and now Jimenez's next target is Way and Putekelis right ahead of him, because if they stay in that same spot, they start battling out. Well, Evan Way and Putekelis in 5th and 6th are going to start waving bye-bye.
So we have a look through the Austin order. Having a look through the order, Austin, right now, and field's starting to calm down a bit. Not so many, you know, close, well, second close battles. There's only about 3 or 4 right now out on track, compared to it being one long train like it was at the start of the race.
Oh, Hernandez. Hernandez, that shoestring.
Needs to light up those rears and flick it round.
He's been lighting up those rears, and he's doing his Austin Powers impersonation. He got one more car to wait for, then he can go for it. And as he's doing that, he's making the largest 3-point turn. I think he's on 0.7 right now. And as that's going on, Pedro Soares is falling down the field. As this is Putekelis and Way putting in a bit of pressure on Putekelis for 5th place. Was all around that outside line at the carousel, and he desperately wanted that move. As Jimenez and Ridgway are closing down now. That gap was 6 seconds. It's now 1.8. See how much time you gain when the cars ahead are battling with each other. That's how much you'll lose, especially around here, about 3/10.
It is allowing the course right now, because they're not catching the battle in front of them. Hardly at all. Austin need to pick themselves up, get a bit of a wriggle on as we've got 8 laps left remaining. Well, I mentioned that. Yeah, 7 now. It's there's going to be some big. Ooh. Oh no! It's Doherty.
Oh, Doherty in the wall.
Oh no! He's losing places, and he's only up 30 now.
Well, sometimes the duality of the overtakes is the overtakes giveth, and the overtakes taketh away. And, well, when you have the most overtakes, it's the easiest to have an incident like that, because you're always around the most amount of cars. Doherty is going to have to go into the pit lane and make sure that car gets fixed up. And I think that I see why the back left of the car looks a little bit jank.
Oh, after such a great start and rising through the order like a phoenix from the ashes, Austin, it's all gone wrong for the American. Oh, it's such a shame. We love a good underdog story. We love a good, fight through the field like that. That now means that highest position climber is Ben Goyer, the Canadian from Modern Racing Prince GP in 26th position. He's just up a casual 25 places.
Yeah, Ben Goyer. I know the MRP team, they like to, they were planning on playing this very safe here today. A lot of the groups was staying up behind everybody else and just focusing on moving up through the field. The start of the season for them was really, really strong. They never had the teammate, the team results that they were having throughout the season so far than this. So this is a very positive day. They just want everybody to finish here today and end out this season with a lot of smiles before next season. And one of the MRP drivers, Evan Way, is doing that right now in 6th place.
Yes, he's climbing. Another driver, I think, just happy, like we were saying earlier about Antunes and Bartolotto, just happy to sit there at this stage of the race, light it out, played the waiting game, and go for it a little bit later on. We'll say that. Hold on. He's got a real big overspeed here, Austin. Around the outside, not enough of the low lap to make it count. Looking for the switchback, but he's going to be on the outside here. If he can hold it on the outside, he'll be okay, but I don't think he's going to be able to.
It's going to be difficult. He's going to be getting that draft on Pudicles off that exit, though. Way, it was defended very nicely by Pudicles down to the inside of the toe. If he can control that wheel spin off that exit, he can get into that draft and use that overspeed to his advantage heading into the heel. Yeah, here we go. Way looking down to the inside at the heel of the boot. And for 5th place there, side by side, wheel to wheel, Evan Way. Pudicles using all the track on the outside to his advantage to stay in 5th place. But these two are giving each other no room at all and having a very nice battle.
Do you know what? It's moments like this why we broadcast racing or we come racing for epic battles like this, intriguing battles. Ebb, they flow. There's twists and turns to the story. Left, right, centre, everywhere you want to look. This is no different here today from the Glen, and this is why this circuit is loved so much, because it just always invokes great racing, regardless of which format which of track layout you pick. There's always great battles to be had. Yeah, again, it's no different here today in iGPFun.
Yeah, iGPFun always having these battles from start to finish, and this is one of those fantastic battles right now. Way still putting pressure on Pudicles, looking on that outside line, using the draft, using the banking, sending it into the banking, but he's just stuck behind Pudicles up ahead of him and cannot make that move stick. He needs to find another way to make that move happen. As we see Will McIntyre Jones side by side entering the toe of the boot, right behind Pedro Suarez, ahead of Chuck Maruk and Clark Williams in 12th.
It's disappointing here from they've all sort of compressed back up again. Jimenez and Ridgway had got away from them, but Suarez, McIntyre, Jones, oh, who's that? That's Garrett Spence.
Spence in the wall. And that's Kessler around. And damaged as well. Look at the front wing.
Oh no. I mean, he can limp it home, but it's going to have no front grip whatsoever. It's going to be understeering, which is going to affect the balance. It'll be twitches of oversteer still. And that's the side of any damage he might have done to the floor. His top speed's going to be affected too. I mean, he can hold on and see what he can try and drag out of this race, but so it's going to be a tough afternoon, a real challenging last 4 laps left in this race. But that's just saying, Suarez and McIntyre Jones, not only have they caught up to Ridgway, but also they've brought Maruk along with them for the ride. see everyone trying to hug that inside line. Very few people looking for the high line there. Suarez defends from McIntyre, Jones and Marukas. Jimenez has got back past Ridgeway.
And Ridgeway needs to watch out right now. He needs to watch out on that gearbox, almost making contact right there with Tony Jimenez right behind him. Jimenez all over that gearbox. And there is Pedro Suarez and Will McIntyre Jones chasing them down as well. And Lucas Maruk also joining the party, as well as Clark Williams. We got about a 6-car party right now in this little train from 7th place all the way down to 12th.
Yeah, Williams has taken a big chunk of time out of this group. He jumped back to about 1.2 seconds. So he's taken about 3-4 tenths out of them. You see where Williams is really struggling to stay with them through certain parts of the circuit. But if he can just hang in that bit longer, just try and close up a little bit of time through turn 1. He needs to absolutely smash it to pieces. That'll be in the draft and that'll drag himself back up into this group, but I think he's taking a bit too much pace because there we go, he's just losing time. And that gap's probably going to creep over a second, or is it? No, he's closing in. Here we go.
He's locked on target. He's going for it, but look ahead at Will McIntyre Jones. He's got that Hydro race car up ahead of him, but he takes a separate line. And here goes McIntyre Jones down low. Pedro Suarez. McIntyre Jones goes up high. He's got Lucas Maruk down low. And there's the Hydro racing car and making that move. But yeah, the two teammates of the Digital Apex cars, Lucas Maruk and Will McIntyre Jones, working together for 10th place right now. And the fight for the lead, by the way, is still going on. And they're separated just about as wide as a stapler. If you look at them, you'll get it.
Yes, in a weird way, I get it. It's Mills has got past Telsma for 17th place right now. But Williams, look at that, he's taken a few more, about another 4 tenths out of that group in front of him. He's going to be right into that as the leader as well. They've been like this all race long. And Tunis, but that cracking side, made up 3 places. Sat behind Bartolotto, and they just started to creep away more and more, bit by bit. So much so, the gap's now 6.4 seconds. I mean, there was the prompt drafting early on, which from Antunes on Bartolotto, which definitely helped them extend that gap. However,
I think they're still doing it.
Well, I was going to say, looks like they backed out of it, but no, scratch that one, Austin.
All aboard the choo-choo train right now. Yeah. Bump drafting down the back straightaway between these two. Danielle and Max Bartolotta. Well, they are pushing each other to new limits right now, and they're certainly making it work. Definitely not pulling any punches between these two.
Oh, no. There is 0 punches being pulled between those two. As, Aberdeen just drops a bit further back from Zemsha there. 1.7 seconds the gap.
I believe Aberdeen had a little bit of a slide at turn 1.
Well spotted, Austin. Well spotted. That's only happened recently, because those two have been trading places all race long. The Salzburg and Mill swap places yet again, constantly training around those two. Look, Williams now with 3 attempts onto the back of McIntyre Jones, so he's now into that fight. Which wants them, yeah, definitely 6 cars deep. Jimenez Suarez, Jimenez Suarez, Ridgeway, Maruk, McIntyre Jones, and Williams. Ridders is going to be too far back to catch up with 2 laps left remaining here, Austin. But even so, this battle for 8th is definitely, even 7th, apologies, is definitely hotting up. But Jimenez just pulled a bit of time out of Suarez here, and I think that's partly because they're defending something to do to Ridgeway.
Yeah, and you got to watch out that exit right there, because Ridgeway, he might be running in the mirrors, but look how close he is running to the Hydro race car up ahead of him. Could easily overshoot that turn and hit the wall off that exit as they start off 2 laps to go here at the Glen. This is where you start putting down your notes, where you want your attack to be leading into that final lap. Where do you want to be? You want to be leading? You want to be in 2nd place? You want to be in 3rd place? Or do you want to be at the back to make sure that you can avoid the wreck if it happens in front of you? Suarez on that inside line. He's got a Lucas Maruk right behind him. Robert Ridgway is on the outside of Suarez as they go side by side through the carousel.
This is just going to build. It's just going to intensify. It's going to get more risky, more daring. It's going to be, when they cross the line, the white flag, 1 lap left to go, but it's allowing Jimenez to really pull away from these guys the more they fight. It's looking like the Spaniard's going to hold on to that 7th place by any mistakes. Whereas these guys, well, they could finish absolutely
They
anyway.
got 3 wide.
Look at it. They backed out of it. That is not a point in the circuit you wouldn't be attempting 3 wide, Austin. It will only end in absolute tears for the, well, at least one of you, let alone 3 of you potentially.
Yeah, look at Lucas Maruk, though. He's got a little bit of help. He's got his teammates right behind him. The 2 digital Apex cars, McIntyre Jones and Lucas Maruk, sitting in 10th and 11th right now. White flag is in the air for our leaders, Max Bartolota and Antunes. As here we go, last lap action. Who is going to go for that move first? It's the Italian, Max Bartolota, defending onto the inside. Here comes Daniel going on to the outside now. They're side by side. Daniel, though, having a little bit of a wiggle right now, giving the advantage back to Max Bartolota, but he sends it into the carousel around the outside. They make contact, they touch, but he somehow saved it onto the curbing, and Daniel Antunes takes the lead of the race round the outside on the final lap into the carousel.
What a move. It needed something big and brave from the Iberian, and he got it done where it mattered. Bartolota didn't know what to expect. Antunes hasn't attacked him all race long. He's helped push him to grow this gap, Austin. As you'll see here, he took that wide line right around the outside. Nobody's hardly been able to make it work today, but he kept his nose in there. He squeezed the Italian down low. He had a wiggle. Oh,
how did he save that? I don't know, but he's staying for the lead right now. Daniel Antunes with just 2 corners to go. Max Bartolota 4 tenths behind him. 1 more corner for the Iberian versus the Italian, as he's going to take the final win of the season here at Watkins Glen. Party's waving the flag for Daniel Antunes. Wins here at Watkins Glen. And it is not the only fight going on right now. Pedro Suarez, Lucas Maruk, Williams, and McIntyre Jones are fighting side by side with each other. They got 2 quarters to go. McIntyre Jones on the inside. Clark Williams around the outside all the way to the wall, brushing it with the paint. They are side to side, wheel to wheel, but it is Clark Williams, the Englishman, around the outside for 11th place.
Wow, what a final lap. And it all went wrong for McIntyre Jones. He was battling with Jimenez and Ridgway. In the end, Suarez, Maruk, and then Williams getting past him. And he finishes down in 12th.
What a day. What a day, what a race. He's still got drivers racing wheel to wheel right now, nose to tail. Kessler versus Hernandez in 27th between these two. There are nose to tail right now. Juan Antonio Hernandez up 16 spots, looking for number 17. He's got 1 more corner to go. Throws it into that final corner, maybe a little bit too much. He's got to watch out for that wall. Almost hits the wall right there, but it's going to be Marcelo Kessler in 27th.
Wow, what a way to end things, Austin. What a way to round off the season. There's donuts aplenty down at the 90.
Yeah, the smoke show, the season-ending smoke show. What a season it has been. What a season. What a way to start off the year. I would say the 2023 iGPFun Winter Series has been a very successful season for all these drivers. A lot of fun was had throughout the season here on Apex Racing TV. Everybody doing their part, and they're having a blast celebrating the season just how everybody should celebrate the season. Dumping the clutch, going around in circles, and burning it down here in America. This is just beautiful to look at. Though this is not the last time you're going to be seeing these cars for a week. Next week, we'll be seeing these cars tackle Daytona International Speedway for the Race for Vimala, the iGPFun Formula 3 Series charity event on week 13. Daytona Road at Night for all information for the iRacing iGPFun Race for Vimala. go check out the iRacing forums in the Delar F3 section for all info on how to donate, how to support, how to sign up, and how to enjoy that very special event. Here are your full race results. It's Daniel Antuens taking the win with Max Bartolota in second place, Kevin Zwestrom, Lee Aberdeen, Oldest Budukles, Evan Wade, Tony Amedes, Robert Ridgway, and Pedro Soares, Lucas Marut, Clark Williams, Will McIntyre Jones, and Steven Ritters, followed by Zoltan Zolman, Marquez Otlofs, Edward Amos, and Adam Talsma, Stu Millen, Richard Van Veen, Arturo Mayorga, Paolo Breme, Reno Schettini, Ben Goyette, and Chuck Morrow. They're followed by Matt Brewer and Matthew Gracie, Marcelo Kessler, Juan Hernandez, Rob Doyle, Maximilian Gebhardt, Victor Barris, Ed Daugherty, Dorian Arroyo, Andy Flick, Christian Glamstetter, Poda Penko, Marquez Budakles, Garrett Spence, James Carter, Benjamin Gilchrist, Dree Dennis, and Joel Mullers, Michael Coffrey, Theodore Bergson, Kai Hansen, and Alvaro Manero. The Animal Vargas is 47, followed by Alistair Hay, Giuseppe Didon, Julio Palacio, Gaten Eibhoff, Nance Herrera, Nicholas Westman, Nick Carty, Jason Wilkinson, Kuchi Ito, Derek Governor, and Giaz Yanni at the back of our 58-car grid. And that is the season in the books.
Wow, Austin. Just wow. Never fails to deliver, does it? And I think anyone who doubted, well, they've most certainly been proved wrong. F3 around Watkins Glen without the boot chicane, without the bus stop chicane. It's always a magical combination. And wow, what did we see today? Well, we saw drama, we saw excitement, we saw unpredictability. It's a few drivers, well, might have been even a stiff drink after that. A few will be absolutely ecstatic with their performance. I mean, big shout out to Ed Dogsy. He was going to be my driver today. Still might even be so for he came through the field, claimed all those places before he obviously crashed out, unfortunately. A shout out to biggest position climbers in the end was a tie. Both at 25 places. They finished 21st and 22nd respectively. Hello, Rame and Reno Schettini. Oh, there we go. To highest position climbers, both at 25. Oh no! No, I lie. I've just spotted one more, 23rd. Clips them all, had 28 position increase.
It's Ben Goyette. Biggest mover of the race, the MRP Grand Prix driver, Ben Goyette, up 28 spots. Tim, what a season it has been. I've been through iGPFun for multiple seasons, and it's always been a blast. Every time I see this series, every time I commentate on it, or just go back and watch a race, or even talk to the guys, it just brings a smile to my face. And it's always one of the highlights of my week, getting to commentate on this crazy racing, these big grid events, and it just makes you smile.
Oh, it does. Big grids, big action, big fun, big smiles all around. It's the only way to define iGPFun-F3.
And I believe on that note, it's time to head out. And oh my gosh, it's been such a wild ride here, and I still can't thank y'all enough for having me on here. That one day where I decided to hop from the F1 eSports scene all the way over to iRacing, and y'all welcome me in here with open arms here on Apex Racing TV. So thank you everybody for joining us here on Apex Racing TV, in chat throughout the season, throughout the years, through comments, through the iRacing top 10 clips, and making fun of my yelling voices and unfortunate mispronunciations of names, and just having a great old time up here. This is one of the best experiences of my life. So thank you everybody for joining me. And thank you, Tim, for joining me on my final day, as well as Samuli Kimo in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.